Then our series rolls on. This best of 5 grand finals, the Game24 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. We're all knotted up 1-1. Team Tinker taking on Cloud9 and Slice, the lion's share of a $15,000 prize pool on the line right here and right now. This best of 5 has become a best of 3, and, well, this looks like we're playing a pub match, apparently. Void and Skywrath Mage lead things off for Tinker, while the Razor and the Doom are picked up by Cloud9. To help break down the draft and lend his insight and analysis, as always, welcome in once again, Trelf. So yeah, it's been an entertaining series so far. Game 2, really, it looked like could have gone either way. Cloud9 was almost the definition of bend but don't break. You know, they had a rough start on Envy, some of the rotations a little sluggish, ended up giving up a little bit more than they would have liked in many cases, but hung around and hung around and hung around until they hit that special timing window when their picks and their composition really came into its own, and one nice black hole enough to finish it off right around 30 minutes in.
Yep, absolutely. And he managed to get Vengeful Spirit in that black hole too, so... And he has BKB and Venge, which is a great counter, too. Even the BKB Black Hole wasn't able to get out of position. Even if he was, I don't think it would have mattered. I think they just had too many items and too much tank to really have Team Tinkerino cut through that. So, as far as these bans coming out from Team Tinker, they did not ban the Visage. So, I was wondering if Cloud9 was going to go for their Visage Drow combination, but looks like they're going for a Razor. And, actually... Visage coming out from Team Tinkerino. This is what I'm talking about. I've talked, like, it's really hard to actually stop them from doing it. The only way you can do it is right now by Cloud9 saying, well, I'm taking Drow away from you. But I've said this before. The only time you really want to pick something to take it away from someone is if you already wanted that hero in the first place. And I don't know if Cloud9 wants a Drow with a Razor and a Doom. So I would not be surprised at all to see Team Tinkerino pick up Drow in the next pick.
Yeah, very likely. And you want to talk about aggressive potential, even with just these 3, even if they don't decide to go all-out Drow with it. You've got Visage, who excels at staying out of the fight. Once he gets his birds up, he'll be able to follow Chronospheres very effectively. And Void, just the nature of the hero, you know, usually going to get up something like a Mask of Madness. He's going to Chrono. There's the Drow, so they will have the full combination. But the Visage just being in range whenever the Void hits a Chrono and begins banging away at targets, he's going to build up a ton of damage to blast out with the Soul Assumption. Now you've got the Drow Ranger that gives them a ton of push, 3 out of 4 ranged heroes. Skywrath Mage naturally bursty and synergizes completely with Faceless Void. In fact, I would argue that at pretty much every level, you know, not the pro level is always a little wonky because pros are always experimenting and, you know, they do fall into metas and fall out of it, whatever. But, you know, down from the pro level, pretty much every level down to the most basic, Faceless Void and Skywrath Mage, probably the most popular tandem being picked in any kind of a drafting sort of a lineup. But the surprise pick, how about a Tusk coming out from Cloud9?
Yeah, I find Tusk very interesting. I'm normally a massive Tusk fan. I think the hero is really good. If you can somehow farm a Blink Dagger on him, you can pretty much save anyone from anything if you're very quick and if you have the right situation. Sometimes it's almost impossible to save somebody just because of, like, for instance, if Void chronos in a way that you can't actually get in range to click on someone to snowball. But if there are situations where Tusk can blink and, like, the hard thing is, like, you have to blink first close to your ally to save them without getting hit by the chrono, and then you have to find someone else to click on to. Because you have to find a target for your snowball, and then you have to click on your ally if they are in range. So you have to. Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest combination of clicking and spells to do, but it's very effective if you can get it off. So I'm a big Tusk fan, but it's I think he's going to be run as a support, is my guess. And I don't know if he's going to get all that much. I do love the hero though. I'm a big fan of the hero, and then Dazzle picked up. Also as another support.
Couple of questions for you, because I honestly don't know the answer to them. In terms of Snowball's interaction with the Chronosphere, I would imagine that, you know, one, can you be chronoed in I'll ask him in rapid fire. 1, can you be chronoed when you're in a Snowball? 2, if you snowball and pick Void as your target, grab a couple of people near the periphery of the Chrono and then roll into the Chrono, do you freeze, or what's the functionality with that? And, yeah, how about we just start with those 2?
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure the snowball goes through and hits Void.
Okay.
Like I think it stuns him. And what was the first question again? The
first question: if you're snowballing, can you be chronoed mid snowball?
No, you're not going to be. I don't think it's going to take you out. So it's.
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously not because if someone's in the chrono, you can snowball them and save them. So so no, like you won't be. It's not like Slark's ult and then it pops you out of it. It's not going to do that.
What about Sigil? Can you move Sigil into the chrono?
Yes, actually, that's what I was going to get to. Is that Sigil is a really good counter to. If anything, Tusk's counter to Faceless Void is strongest with the Sigil because it's such a massive attack slow. And it's 600 range, and it slows them as well. So, and it even goes through BKB. So even if Void has a BKB, it'll still slow them.
Yeah, so a lot of, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, there are, there's so many little intricacies that, some have been around forever, some change patch to patch, but Tusk is one of those heroes that I feel like anyone who watches competitive Dota just has this itch in the back of their brain that says this hero could be so good if it's just done 100% correctly in the right situation. But, it's a lot easier said than done. Even very well played Tusk have their limitations. And Tusk is not the most forgiving hero in terms of skill cap and in terms of what you can get out of him, especially whenever you make the decision to run him, as you said, and as I think will be the case, as a support. Speaking of support, Tinker grabs up the Warlock, so they're going to have yet another big AoE spell to drop on top of anyone that's unfortunate enough to be caught in Void's Chronosphere. I
think the great thing about Tusk is that he's very versatile. Like, you can run him as a support, you can run him mid, you can run him off lane. It's like the rewards you get from running him as a core is he gets extra levels, and he really needs the levels. But the good things about running him as a support is he doesn't need much farm at all. Like, Phase Boots Blink is, I think, all you need from pretty much the whole game. Everything after that's, in my opinion, luxury. So I really like the hero, and it definitely takes a lot of skill to play it. And Axe actually coming out last for Cloud9. They have a very fun lineup.
Their lineup worries me for a couple of reasons. I mean, all their heroes are excellent for, all the reasons you've listed off and for plenty more. But whenever you talk about their damage dealers now, I mean, Razor is ranged, but, he's a range that wants to get on top of you, wants to make sure he has static link up, which means he's going to be susceptible to being caught by Chronosphere, being caught out of position, perhaps by a Silence, by Warlock and his ulti. But Tusk and Axe both are heroes that want to be right on top of you, which of course causes bunching if you're trying to crack and he blinks onto a target that's engaging you and so on. I could see things get very rough for Cloud9 if Koikva plays Faceless Void well, and to be honest, based on the last series we saw him in, he plays a pretty damn good Faceless Void.
Yep, as my Dota crush, but I'll get into it shortly. Maybe their idea is to do a Axe. I can't see the heroes picked. I'm guessing it's going to be Bone 7 playing the off lane on Tusk.
I will tell you in a moment that it'll actually be Pylite Eye.
Okay, so yeah, support. I like support better, but maybe their thinking is grab Axe with the snowball, run in there, and then use the call, and then they're both bunched up, and then you heal with the dazzle. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe they've tried it in a scrim and it works well. Could be fun to watch if they execute it properly.
But here's the issue: you got an AOE silence, you've got an AOE rock drop from Sing Sing, who looks to be handling the Warlock in a core position. You got to deal with Chronosphere, which is of course the big question mark, and then you've got the Visage and the Skywrath that can make use of any kind of bunching very efficiently, be it Visage with the stun from his familiars and so on. I like the gimmick that C9's running, and I don't use gimmick as pejorative. I mean, this is just a nice set of interactions, as you were outlining. I just worry that Tinker may have just flat out outpicked them and out game planned them in this one if their execution is there.
It's certainly in a 5-on-5, it's not going to be that effective at all. Yeah, you're certainly right in that, but I'm talking about other engagements or ganking and things like that, or maybe even in the laning phase, if you catch one support hero off. As they are spotted out by this ward, they're pinging him out, but Team Tinker has full vision of this, so they should know.
Yep, ward goes down. EGM right on the other side of the trees. And it will be 3-on-3, at least if things stay as they are right now. In mid, it's actually Fata getting ready to go mid on the side of C9 while the rest of his team looks to try lane. It's going to be a double damage rune that is spawned near the top rune spot. AUI will spot it, and we'll take it. So he'll be making his way back. AUI will be on the Dazzle. Pylite Die as mentioned on the Tusk, and Bone 7 on the Axe. The defensive tri-lane will be Pycat on the Drow. Bulba on the Skywrath Mage once again with EGM on this Visage. And Bone7 already trying to get Cupid. Look at the damage already. This is what we were talking about. Now here comes the snowball. That's going to allow him to get on top of EGM. AUI is doing good damage because of the double damage. Rooney's going to turn. Pycat doing nice damage back, and down goes Dazzle already. Bone7 forced to spend his salve. Look at how slow and how much damage he's taking just from Ice Arrows and from Grave Chill. There's going to be a concussive shot. That's a 2-for-0 exchange. And Cloud9, before they can even get started in this aggressive lane, has fallen apart.
The problem is, well, there's two problems with this. One is they're going up against, not only is it a tri-range lane that we have here, but it's one with Drow in it.
Yep.
Now, he didn't even get his aura because he thought that the slow was going to be more effective, which I think it was. But normally, like, okay, I've seen so many times where Axe tri-lanes offensively have been popular, and then what do people do against it? They all get ranged heroes because then they don't have to take damage from the Helix.
Right.
So they picked this after they already knew what Team Tinker was doing.
Yep.
Okay, that's one problem. The second problem is they walked up there in the jungle so late. Like, of course, Team Tinker is going to have some kind of vision there. Like, it would be very bad of them not to. So, like, they saw everything. They knew exactly what was happening. And that's just C9 getting there late and not respecting Team Tinker's ability to have vision there.
You ever seen that Patrick Stewart bit where he talks about his book? Or his idea for a show? And he's a psychic who can manipulate women's clothes, but never... No. Hold on. I was trying to tell a story. Someone will get that. I'll abandon that for now because we're seeing just how ruthless... There's a nice snowball to save some damage. But here's the thing. It's not only 3 ranged, man. It's 3 slows. And 3 very bursty heroes. I mean, Pycat, I guess, not so much bursty, but still just outputting a ton of damage. Bulba and EGM, very bursty heroes. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I'm shocked they're even trying to continue on with this. Like, at some point, they're going to have to just give it up. Down at bottom, Koikva's not making it easy on the Doom either, as he has pushed him all the way out of lane. There's going to be a snowball on top of EGM. They're trying to show how this will work.
There's the combo, though.
Yeah.
Like, if they can get it, it's actually quite deadly, and they did right there.
Yep.
Snowball with the call, and then the
Shadow Wave. Yep, Shadow Wave. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And I guess, you know, kudos. It'll be fun if they can continue to pull it off. Hold on at bottom. Koikva pushing this Doom all the way back to his tower. Yeah, he's going to jump on him with a Time Walk, and he's going to bring him down. Yep, there you go. Koikva, solo kill on a Doom who didn't have enough mana for a Scorched Earth. And Koikva is not the player you want to be giving solo kills as a Faceless Void. That's the kind of thing you'll pay for 20 minutes from now.
Oh, God, they'll pay for less than that. That's not good at all. I was actually going to say that, too, is that this offensive tri-lane actually... Like, normally Faceless Void on Dire offlane is not that great. It's amazing on Radiant, but on Dire it's not that great. But this is not a bad 1v1 matchup for Void.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't... Yeah, you said he didn't have mana for the Scorched Earth. Maybe because he's, like, spamming this mana burn. But I don't think mana burn's really that effective against the Void, because he's primarily centered around, like, his time lock.
Well, he had enough mana to time walk, so it couldn't have been spamming it that much.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, this is not good there for Team Tinker. Or sorry, for Cloud9.
Well, Cloud9 is getting it together up top. It looks like Team Tinker, who was off to a great start and was really punishing Cloud9, now they've got a couple of levels under their belt, is playing scared. They're playing all the way back under their tower, and we're seeing C9 show exactly why they drafted this. So our skepticism being shoved right down our throats. The way it started, it was easy to see. It's like, oh, they just got out-drafted, but... Yeah, I guess there's a reason why professional players that know a lot about Dota and are amazing players do draft these things, and it's working out well for them.
Well, if they all get clumped up for the snowball, it gives a lot more movement speed, and yeah, they will catch someone and they can't kill them. So they do have to play kind of scared. So this is I wonder if they've tried this in scrims, because it looks like they've tried this before. Mm-hmm. It does work out very well, and when we saw that happen, they bursted them down, and they burst them down fast. So it's very fun to see new combinations like this actually work.
Faceless Void is a miserable hero. No, I'm serious.
Not as bad as Tinker.
No, he's a miserable hero. Like, just watching him just walk up and right-click the Doom, and yeah, it's so hard in a 1v1, and it's game is hard at top as well. As C9 now getting into creep cutting. Now they're going to engage. There's going to be the shards thrown, but they're going to be off the mark. AUI right there with the full mana bar. Does have 2 points in a Shadow Wave and 1 into Grave, so they're going to be able to play very aggressive here. And looks like Tinker just trying to play patient. This tower is down to half health now, and the tower on the other side untouched. But yeah, Cloud9 just going to completely creep cut now and dare someone to rotate up and stop them.
I'm pretty sure they could actually just dive them. If you look at the heroes, if they just look at mid and bottom, Sing Sing has no TP, Void has no
Hold on
TP. In
one
fact,
second.
Void,
Yep, I was watching.
another kill.
Void is a miserable hero. He's miserable. It's Cloud9. This is miserable too. They're just standing here. It's sup. Waiting.
Again, the Koikfa show here.
Yep. And here we go. They're going to dive it, and EGM's the target. He's going to be blown up immediately. Now let's see if they can make them pay. They're actually not doing a good job of focusing targets, but Sing Sing's there, drops the rock on both of them. Pylai Die will be able to make it away because of the grave, so what could have been a drop of 2 is just a drop of 1. 2-5, though. Team Tinker leading this ball game, largely due to this guy right here, and a very nice rotation out of Sing Sing.
Yeah, he must have just ferried the TP or walked back because, like, literally 45 seconds ago he did not have a TP, so very effective. But Aoi, that was such a fast grave, man. Like, he was less than 1 hit away after the rock came down, but he still graved, I think it was Pylai Die, and he had a TP out. Really well played by Aoi.
All right, so where do you go from here if you're Cloud9? You know, we saw just how effective that could be, but it looks like Cloud9, or Tinker, is already in the mood to break this laning phase down. Here we go. There's going to be a Chronosphere. Caught 2. AUI's there to try to keep him alive. Bone7 eating a fair amount of damage. He's going to go down, but gets a Helix off first. Now the Snowball. Fata there to try to contribute. Koikfa turning, doing what damage he can. Sing Sing has no mana and soon to be no life as he ends up being the second of 2 return kills. So the Chronosphere brings down the axe, but it costs them 2 on the way back out. So nice reaction. The mid's really influencing the pace of this game as they react to the aggression on both sides in that top lane.
The Razor had a double damage on top of that, so that plus the damage dealing as Bone7 gets the call out onto EGM. Well, that was a weird interaction.
Yep. And he's going to end up dead. Sigil's there. Right clicks are there as well. And Fata leashing onto Bulba and getting a second kill. So all of this aggression paying dividends now for C9. Sing Sing can do nothing but get off the dot. More dots. And Fata very low health, but more dots. Oh, too many dots. Stop dots.
Wait, he got that with the shadow word.
Yep.
Wow,
he did
a lot of damage.
I feel like our demographic's not going to get that, Ralph. No,
I'm sure they will.
That's one of those videos that's literally older than the internet. It's like first generation WoW. Anyway, down at bottom, Doom caught out, eating the ice arrows in the back, and now the concussive shot and a few arcane bolts. And this Doom has had a tough life. C9, though, rotating Pylai Die over to help him out, and that'll force Bulba and Pycat back off of the aggression. 8 minutes in, there's an Invis Ruse sitting at bottom, taking a look at the overall CS. Doom, though he's died twice, is way ahead in terms of CS, just shy of 50 at 8 minutes, so not a bad clip for him. Razor at 36, and Sing Sing's Warlock in mid sitting at 34.
I was just going to say, Envy needs to get a new goddamn creep, because this Mana Burn one is just not doing anything for him. And he finds the Ice Armor one. I know that this is one of his favorites, too. So, bam, just like that, he went from 1 armor to 9. And he can apply it to the rest of his team, too, with the slow as well. So, very nice creep for him to get. He's almost got his mech. Very, very close to that. And they're smoked up looking for a kill. Doom is online. Oh, I missed it.
It's a miserable hero. It's a Chronosphere kill at bottom. Well played by Koikfa, and Koikfa's already racking up the stats. He is sitting up. Hold that thought. Here we go. EGM shows his face a little bit too long, and there's going to be the Doom onto him as well. He's going to be pursued under his tier 1 reactions, not in the coming, as they're actually going to take a while to chase him. They're way back there. That's Sigil.
Maybe he can kill himself with the birds? Oh,
no,
close.
He was trying. Here comes Koikfa in, and let's see if he wants to try anything. Nope. Has to play careful. The Sigil slowing him down. Pylai died, no mana for any abilities, and it looks like Envy happy to extricate himself as well. Sing Sing has his point booster up. He's a little over halfway through his Scepter. So he's, Scepter on the mid-Warlock, very important. I think that's going to be their go item for now. Koikfa just continues to hit people and bash them every time.
Oh, he ulted somebody, but it didn't do anything. I wonder what he ulted. Yeah, and he just gives up the Golem Gold as well. It's only 100, but every little bit counts, so... Yeah, unfortunate there for Sing Sing, not able to find a kill with his ult. As it is a very long cooldown, one of the longer ones in the game, honestly. 165.
Tell you what, Bulba needs some levels, and he needs to stay safe and eat this experience without giving anything back up. He is just level 4. He's on his way to 5 now, up at top. Looks saw Koikfa on top of Envy again, assumed he was probably killing him again. But 8-9, a game with a lot of kills for a 10-minute game, and a lot of struggles. Looks like they're going to go ahead and pressure this bottom tower now as Pylai joins Bone 7.
Yeah, and Skywrath really does need levels because once he gets 6, it's like a kill every single time with the Void.
Sing in trouble in mid. That's going to prompt a reaction. Here comes Koikva. Does he have Chrono? He would. Yeah, he does now that he tread switches. Doesn't look like he's too overcommitted to trying to use it. Down at bottom, Pylai and Bone 7 still pressuring this tier 1. Over on the sides, Bulba. Bone's going to go ahead and cut creeps. Rotation is on the way. Koikva once again tread switches. That gives him enough for the Chrono. And there's going to be the concussive shot. Bone 7 loops back around. There's Pycat. Caught with the call, but he's silenced and just going to TP away.
Nice play.
Yep. Koikva still very slow in getting there, so unable to do much. In the meantime, this is freed up mid for Fata, who is pecking away at the tier 1.
Yeah, despite having a very good laning stage, Koikva's unfortunately had to move around a lot. So he had a really good time in lane, but he has not had much farm in the last 3 minutes. I've seen him walk to mid, walk bottom, TP mid, walk bottom. And he's just trying to help out his team, but C9's doing a good job about kiting them, honestly. And I think the mech is up actually onto, yeah, mech is up on Doom with, now he has 15 armor. Wow. It's a lot of armor.
Down at bottom, the tier 1 about to come under pressure. I feel like right now it's just a waiting game for Team Tinker, waiting on the scepter from Sing. Pycat gets caught with a walrus punch. The shards following the snowball, and Fata in the right place to clean that up. Here comes Bone 7, gets off the battle hunger and going to try to chase him down. Opted not to go for an early blink. Chrono used purely defensively as Koikva will go ahead and continue to retreat behind his own tier 1 and 2. Here in mid, Bulba and Sing still trying to keep this tower up. It's well outside of deny range at top. Eternal Envy just continuing to farm away. As you said, he had his mech up, but we see the Visage getting a lot of solo attention now. He's only level 7 despite being alone in this lane for a while.
Yeah, still not too bad for him, but Bulba's still not even level 6, and they don't have Chrono. He used it defensively, and that's going to make it very easy for... Oh, there's the rock, though.
Drop down, caught 3 under the tower. Silence on the Pylai. Didn't have mana anyway. Koikva having his damage sapped, and Bone 7 going to just try to TP out. Nope, no bash. Probably the first time he swung and didn't get a bash.
He had one chance.
Oh, Bulba, very close to death, hit with the outside of the plasma field. And at top, we can see EGM warding him off, but AUI, all by his lonesome, takes the tower kill in mid.
Holy God, he's level 8. Dazzle is level 8?
Yep.
He's died 3 times too. Compare that to Bulba, who's only died once, and he's level 6. So Aoi got a lot of space there in mid, and an over-leveled Dazzle is nothing to scoff at, man. That hero can really do some things for your team.
Visage is about to hit 8 as well. And this solo lane really paying off here in mid. We've got 3, and there's going to be another snowball on top of Koikva. Can't get away. There's the call and the big uppercut as they pick off Koikva and make it 10-10. Now I feel like they're getting rolling. The responses are there. We're beginning to see not just the gimmick of it, but how this team can continue to function and what kind of timings they can hit. Right now, Koikva still looking for big item. He's looking for his Mask of Madness. This is a great time for him to go after the attack. And EGM next on the list. No mana for the snowball here, but Sigil slows him sufficiently. Walrus punch. Few right clicks. He'll do what damage he can. But AUI there to heal any damage done. And they're actually going to get the birds as well. That's 100 extra gold.
Yep, really good. And that's a max Sigil too, so it's so good against Void as well, having the max Sigil. Attack speed slow at 60. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to get those bashes, and that's where his damage is coming from. Drow has like nothing. The damage primarily is coming from the rock and the Visage nukes. And it's not even, okay, I guess Skywrath now that he's 6 can pump out some damage, but C9's getting a lot of
Doom on the Pycat. Koikva's there, and we'll get a 2-man Chrono off. There's the follow-up with the Mystic Flare. Oh, good grave! Envy kept alive by the skin of his teeth, and Fata with that haste rune looking for retribution. Koikva gonna die in the eye of the storm, and EGM's next on the list. Here comes the snowball, catching him from behind. Another big uppercut, and Fata's not done. Chasing down Bulba. Can they get Sing? All the way back to the tier 3. They chased that entire team from the tier 1 bottom on Radiant side to the tier 3 Dire. Just running them down like dogs. Well played, Cloud9.
Absolutely. Fata with a haste rune that just expired too. Aoi with yet again another clutch shallow grave. really the MVP, I think, in this game. And you're seeing the Tusk, man. It's so good, the snowball, just catching them off.
That itch in the back of your head, man. You know, you can feel it. If it's just in the right situation, right heroes, it can work. We're seeing it with our own eyes, and it's a damn pleasure.
Yeah, ping's coming out perhaps on Roshan. Also, the sigil goes through Roshan, too. So it makes them attack very, very slowly. I wonder if they want to try it. And the cool thing about their lineup for C9 is they don't really have any spells that have, like, a long cooldown. The longest is the Doom, which isn't even that long. It's only 100 seconds. They can just keep fighting and fighting and fighting, whereas Team Tinker, they have to fight around the Chrono, and they have to fight around the Rock.
Speaking of Chrono, 35 seconds off. Rock is up, and Koikva might be down. That snowball will catch him. And he's called immediately. Walrus punch. The wombo combo's there, but the counter punch is there as well. Tinker's had enough. Vata shows up and has to turn tail just as quickly. AUI in position to help if needed. Bone 7 stunned by the familiars. And there's going to be the upheaval, slowing down the retreat speed. Heard the Doom go off behind. That was on Sing Sing. The Rock already dropped. Vata still way out front. And it's only the Tusk that's down thus far. And they're actually doing a great job of kiting the damage out, going high ground to low ground and back again. Took all of their abilities, but suddenly it's the tier 2 in mid that is threatened. Sing Sing was in position and got the ulti out, but the follow-up just wasn't there.
Yep, and now with the Ags cooldown for the Warlock, like, how do they even really initiate fights? I don't think the Chronosphere does enough. As long as Aoi is standing outside of it, he can just grave whoever. It's a max grave right now, so the range on it is really, really high. It's 1,000 range. I don't know how Team Tinker gets kills. I really don't. It's really hard to. With the snowball save, Aoi's healing. I really like Cloud9's draft. It's not only is it a lot of fun, but it's actually very effective too.
Koikva could be in trouble again. Sing Sing's right there, but they know he doesn't have ulti. Instead, they're going to go on Bulba. Caught with the shards, and here comes the follow. Bulba, uppercut once again, and that bird is down. 17-11 at 17 minutes in, 28 kills in a very active game. It doesn't look like Cloud9's ready to take their foot off the gas quite yet. They want to knock this one out. They don't want this game to last much longer.
Yep, and one thing I also realized is that Axe is really good against Visage.
Yep.
Like, every single time these Visage birds start attacking or get in the range of the counter helix, they just die instantly. Really good hero. I wonder if that was their idea because they knew that Visage was on the board, or if they just tried this tri-lane in general and just knew it was good against anything.
Did you see the Midas timing on Pycat?
God, it must have been late because
yeah, that's what I was
saw
thinking.
I saw him when he was bottom about 4 minutes ago with treads and a glove of haste. And
that's what I was thinking. I was just making sure I wasn't out of my mind. Yeah, you're talking like a 14-15 minute Midas.
I can't see how this is good.
Yeah, desperation, man. Just hope you can hold and catch him up, but like you said, I mean, Koikva had a monstrous laning phase, and the lane started well for Team Tinker, but Cloud9 putting on a clinic as to how to properly run a Tusk-centric, aggressive tri-lane, and right now, Tinker's just reeling, looking for answers.
Thing is, if you buy Midas, like, you shouldn't go fighting. Like, they have Rock down, too. Oh, I guess it's up in 9 seconds, so I'm wrong about that, but normally Midas at this stage is, like, all in, just dodge fights and try to just split push and farm. Koikva is looking in the backfields for Aoi.
Yep, AUI will go ahead and Shadow Wave himself. Here comes Bone 7. And they're doing what they can. And, oh, beautiful snowball. Behind that, the Rock is dropped, but I don't know that it's going to matter. There's the Doom on the Sing Sing of all people. And even though, you know, after the Rock was dropped, Bulba has to run. Pycat, yep. That was odd. Like, that whole engagement, it was beautiful save by the Tusk. Wonderful play. And then the Rock comes down, then you doom a Warlock who's dropped his ulti. And the damage output from C9 just way too high. And I'm a believer, man. When they first showed up in that aggressive lane, it looked like it was going to be an utter disaster, and was. They gave up 2 kills in the first, 60 seconds, if that? And then the abilities, all it took was 2 levels on each hero. And that combination paid dividends. What a game.
Yeah, it was really strong. Because whoever they went on with the snowball, the other heroes can't help them. Like, there's nothing they could do. If they had, like, a Dazzle, maybe they could, or a Shadow Demon, but I mean, you look at those heroes, you're like Visage, Skywrath, Drow. Like, it's actually a really strong combination. They got the best of them with this really cool tri-lane. I really liked it a lot. Not to mention giving up solo kill. Oh, wait.
I guess it didn't even matter because they won. I was going to say that Doom giving up solo kills bottom wasn't good, but it didn't really matter because, as I said, Koikva was running around the map and trying to find kills, but they couldn't find them. And then with Tusk maxing the Sigil, it was actually really, really effective. Like, Void just could not hit it, attack quickly, and yeah, very nice draft. A lot of fun and well played by Cloud9.
Cloud9 now one game away from walking away in first place, our champions of this very first edition of the Game24 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. And Tinker, I mean, we've seen them. We've seen them battle back from deficits. We've seen them play their way out of a hole. They're going to have to do it now. It's win or go home. Cloud9, though, sniffing that grand prize. IMAC, that's Shrouf. Game number 4 on the way of this best of 5. Stick with us. We'll be right back.